Hey folks, how's it going? Welcome back to another episode of Cards and Castles Casting Conflicts, where today you got a bit of a grudge match to settle between Dolphin and oooje, who at the time of recording, Dolphin was really looking to get into a best of 3 with oooje and came to me asking if he could do it on the show. I obliged, and here we are. So, with that being said, let's go ahead and jump right into match number 1 and see what both players have to offer. Alright folks, and welcome back to the Casting Conflicts today, as we've bringing you DolphinLettuce, or DolphinLettuce, funny cutoff name, up against oooje, who debuted in our last episode, up against oooje here. So we already know what oooje is rocking, a bit of a swarm inside the Pirate Viking here. But over on Dolphin's side, a little bit of Warlock Druid action with some interesting cards in hand. And of course, joining us today, we've got Tweakin. Tweakin, any thoughts on Dolphin's hand so far?
It's looking like a very mid to late game right now, so hopefully Dolphin can survive long enough to be able to play Dancing Swords and Keeper of the Doorway. If oooje can, this is oooje's time to start popping out those buildings, Red Hovel, Blacksmith, Armories, make it just a little bit harder for Dolphin to come back. Because now we're going to see he's going to have to play Dancing Swords, depending on what he draws here next, and that can easily be killed next turn.
Oh, Dark Bender.
He could opt for a Dark Bender, but I don't like it. Another Global Buff can easily take that out, and then you're even worse spot now.
I mean, he's not in the worst position, though. We'll see if oooje decides to go for... Yeah, okay, so he does go for the trade, so gives Dolphin a little bit of breathing room here. Dragon Knight, the second card, or the card for turn, excuse me. That's going to be a bit of a problem with Keeper in hand.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, Grendel.
He's going to opt for Dark Bender and try to get a little Bestial Rage action here. We'll see if oooje is going to let him. Yeah, we're going to see if oooje is going to let him keep that Dark Bender on. He's got some options here. He can probably... I haven't seen ooooje's deck, so I don't know what he could do. Temple of the Five Gods going to come down, so that's going to be good. We're going to see Bestial Rage come out here and potentially wipe out both of these units if oooje decides to...
Okay, no, he doesn't.
That was smart. That was smart.
I mean, he can still take it out, though, if he moves correctly here. He places it, right on that spot. Bops the Faithful Drake, moves up 1, bops the Dragon Knight. So really, no matter what he would have done, if Dragon Knight had gone to the very back, he would have been safe. But we know that's not oooje's strategy here. And now this gives Dolphin free reign of the board. Centaur is, okay, Rampage. Interesting choice there. Unless you want to do, okay, a Blacksmith. So he's trying to limit the global buffs coming out, trying to negate the value of a Swarm coming out from potentially Mystic Rat King. We also know that oooje's got Sea Witch in here as well, so I'm kind of curious as to why maybe we didn't save it for a spawner and maybe just going for the buffs. Either or. I mean, both seem fine.
Ooh. He's going to be able to kill this Hostin City Guard, maybe? I don't think it reaches.
One more.
Doesn't reach.
He needs one more, yeah. The guard isn't enough. Okay, Lumberjack will clean it up. Lumberjack will clean it up. Very nicely done from oooje here. Bringing it back to his side. Dragon's Fire, though, a very dangerous pickup.
See, now you're kicking yourself with that Centaur. I was going to say, I mean, yes, you can take out the Blacksmith, but you could probably use that Centaur for bigger and badder things. Rat Hovels, Armories, Temple of the Five Gods, hit on cast on face, and not only you waste a Centaur and you draw a Dragon's Fire, but you waste a Bestial Rage.
Very true there. And Bestial Rage, we know, a very big equalizer from the Druid, so losing that, of course, is very problematic here. Now we're going to see a second Temple, so double chain coming out now. A lot of damage incoming to Dolphin's Castle here. The Dragon's Fire value, though, is just set up. It's just set up. I don't think there's any other play to make here except for that Dragon's Fire. As we get
could you imagine if he had that Fenrir down before that? Could you imagine if he had that? Oh, yeah, my God.
That would have been big, but, that actually brings up an interesting point here on what Dolphin's deck could be. We're seeing cards like Grendel, Fenrir, Dancing Swords, things that don't really fit all too well together, except for the fact that they are just some beefy units. So I'm kind of wondering if Dolphin's strategy is just that, creating beef, maybe a bit of Demonic Rage, OTK, if possible.
It looks like that.
Got Demonic Rage, after all.
Yeah, usually when you're running Demonic Rage, it's you're more so looking to buff up your units and just take out his castle in 1 or 2 hits, or end the game in any sort of fashion with a Grendel. I mean, a Grendel with that goes up to 12.
Mm-hmm. We are gonna see
Was going to
Mordok
play like
though.
Frozen Pillar, Winds of the Nord.
All right, so he's going for the Keeper. Keeper connects or Keeper dies. There's the Banshee. Banshee could probably do some chain stuff on the castle. Dolphin will get the draw off the Lumberjack, but you know, oh fear. Oh, and the Pillar.
No.
About to say, if we had some sort of like additional attack buff like Demonic, we probably would have been able to end it there. But unfortunately, the Pillar will come in pretty clutch for oooje here. As to what Dolphin can do, there is certainly Fenrir
Mhm.
opportunities here. I would probably go Fenrir to... Well, actually, no, because the double chain.
It does.
Yeah, the double chain. Yeah. Oh, we could have really used that Bestial Rage right about now, creating something for that Wraith to do.
You know, I don't want to be like picking straws or anything, but I think Dolphin could have won this game on this turn right here. If
Potentially.
he if he would have on that first centaur, if he would have hit castle, then on this turn he could have played demonic, and of course oooje doesn't play the frozen pillar. He could have demonic ranged the Grendel, hit castle for 12, and then you take the
Yeah.
-3 from the other centaur, so that's down. Then he's oooje is down to 2 health, and then you play this centaur to end the game.
I mean, he needs to do a Fear Centaur play here, yep, and then get the Centaur above the Banshee to take it out. You do lose the Wraith, but hey, you're surviving in the game, and you're going to force
Mhm.
oooje to take another turn to respond here. Now we have potential setup with Fenrir and injured Trent, although at this point, I think the game is lost for Dolphin. There's not a whole
It's just
lot
a
that he's
matter
going to
of
be able
time,
to do, yeah.
right? It's just a matter of time until oooje draws, uh, Rat King, a Mordok will
Yep,
even
and
do
there's the
it.
Mordok, yep, okay. Okay, so Dolphins texting aside, apparently maybe he was just going to block out his loss, whatever. That will be a victory for oooje nonetheless here, bringing it home with the Pirate Viking. And overall, I'd say a fairly strong match for him. It could have gone either way, but I think we'll explain a bit more of that in the interview. So Tweakin, how about we go and see what the players are thinking?
Sure.
Alright, folks, and welcome back to, or the end of game number 1 here. And oooje pulling out the victory here with the, I believe, well, the same Storm deck we saw yesterday. How'd you feel about that matchup? I mean, were you feeling pretty good? Felt like you had a good chance? Or were you nervous? Anything that you were scared about? Just talk us through it.
Nah, look good. I have.
Yeah, it
obviously
went perfect for you, huh?
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Nothing went wrong for you.
You know what? I'm just going to mute him. Continue.
Nice. Don't know much to say.
I mean, yeah, I
This
think
mate,
the
good
double
timing.
temple, I think, was really sort of the game ender in that for you. I mean, the plays throughout were, I think, solid. Nothing really stood out to me as being a bad move per se. Especially that freezing pillar at the end there to just really solidify the game here. Just an overall solid performance. Tweakin, do you have anything for oooje? Because I mean, I don't after what I just said.
Yeah, no, not really. It just it seems that just from the very beginning, you had control over the board. I mean, we saw Dolphin saying he had 2 4-cost gold and 1 5-cost gold, so he was playing more defensively, especially which was a problem with his deck since Warlocks Druids is more of an offensive type deck. So when early on when you get put in a spot where you have to play more defensively, especially against a deck such as green blue, which is very offensive, it's kind of hard to come back and regain that board control. But yeah, throughout the match, I just thought oooje had control of the whole thing. I didn't think there was a single point in time where I thought Dolphin was going to turn the tide. Maybe you could make
Dragon's
an
Fire.
argument. You can make the argument for Dragon's Fire. Or the Darkbender Bestial Rage, but oooje had a counter
Right.
for each and every one of those. So
Yeah, solid performance. And speaking of the opposition here, let's of course unmute and then we bring back Dolphin. Not exactly the
Red.
best. Not exactly the best showing in the debut
What do you
match.
want?
Um,
Okay, my starting hand, that was absolute crap. I run so many low-cost units. I have 3, 6, 9. I have 15, and then I have fears, and then I have blue firebolts. There was like a 1 in 50 chance that I could have drawn a good 1 in like half chance that I could have drawn a good card, and I just didn't. This game literally took RNG, it put it up my butt, running around in like a butter creamer, and then it slapped it on a piece of toast and just threw it out the window.
Oh, I don't think anyone wants to imagine that.
we got it though, and it's fantastically funny. Yeah, because we were about to ask for like, maybe a strategy was more late game focused, just based on the hand, but I guess clearly not. I mean, maybe you were running more
No,
of a...
my highest card is an 8, and then that goes to a 6, and then that goes to a 5.
Okay, so definitely...
The game literally just, it took a squirrel, run it up a tree,
Alright,
cut down the tree,
for
turn that tree.
fuck's sake.
You get my point?
Yes! Oh my lord.
What was your thinking
then-
with the Centaur Blacksmith play? Why'd you decide to kill the Blacksmith?
Because I knew oooje was just trying to build up a fucking... Because this little punk over here is trying to build a Rat King swarm. So I was like, okay, if I can get some of the attack damage down, then maybe I can outlive it. And then he played 2 lightning buildings, and it's like, come on, man, come on. I'm surviving over here with my 4 cost shit, and then it's like,
We definitely think that maybe the
I think
Centaur
this-
was a little too aggressive in hindsight, especially losing that Bestial Rage off of it.
With the cards I had, I felt like it was one of the better things I could have done.
Right, in the moment,
That's
yes,
just me.
yes, yeah. But maybe, okay, in hindsight. But with that being said, Tweakin, I think that was going to be it for you for Dolphin, right? Because then if that's the case, we'll move right into match
that's okay.
number 2.
Yep.
Actually,
Alright.
don't you run Ratnut King?
Oh, you don't run Rat King.
Oh my god, are you kidding me?
Don't say that.
All
Don't
right,
say
well,
that.
let's go to match number 2 quickly before Dolphin has time to process it. All right, folks, and welcome back. Game number 2 underway here as Dolphin deciding his mulligan hand. Got call for Aiden Grendel in hand, which I'm sure he might sub out here. I mean, listen, if you're gonna show us the cards, at least sub him out. But it looks like he's also running the same thing back, which is interesting. How do you think his chances are in game 2, Tweakin, if he runs the same thing back?
Well, he's got a better starting hand this time. He actually has, early range healing. He's got a lumberjack. He's got Grendel's dancing swords. So now we're gonna see how oooje can play. I mean, we see that
the
rat novel,
Centaur.
but now we got the Centaur. So it looks like he's gonna play the Centaur next, or at least coin out into the Centaur, get that rat hovel out of the way.
Oh yeah, I would definitely take it. Don't trade before the lumberjack.
Yeah,
first.
don't hit-
Beautiful.
Oh my God! Could you imagine? Could you
That would have
imagine?
been the most hilarious thing. Because Dolphin, of course, is also known for sometimes these sporadic plays and heat of the moment. Obviously, can get a little heated, as you saw in the first game interview. So he can have a tendency to maybe misclick something, and yeah, that ends up going sour for everyone here. But I mean, he's looking at 3 wizards in hand. I assume we're probably going to see 1 now, maybe. Yeah, get the wizards out. Get them out now. And if oooje is serious about not having Rat King, these range units could be absolutely problematic for him to get to without things like a freezing pillar in hand.
Yeah, but we still don't know. He could run dagger storms. He could run murder, mercenaries, and execution,
Right. Yeah,
onslaught. So pirates have some way. It's not. It's definitely not as quick and efficient as Rat King Mystic Journey, but it's still nevertheless gets the job done.
Right. And I mean, I'm just going off of what
oooje
I
is taking his
saw
sweet time.
yesterday out of ooje's deck. Because I don't really think in any of the matches that he had against Triple J with the Pirate Viking, I don't remember seeing any form of direct removal, such as like execution. So if he doesn't have that, yeah, it could be very problematic for him moving forward. Because now he's facing Big Grendel, turn 5. I hear him cycling through some cards.
Yeah, he probably has some low tier units, some buff cards, maybe like a blacksmith, another rat hovel, circling there and there, and he's probably debating whether he can survive 6 damage on face or not, because if he body blocks once, Dolphin has a couple options. He can either waste a Dragon's Fire to take out that Drake, and wherever he is, he can hit on face. There's the blacksmith I was talking about. And there's the 2 cheap units that I was talking about. The
We're
Hostage
probably
City
gonna have to
Guards.
see. I mean, come on, just seal the deal. Yeah. So we are gonna see the blacksmith go into the Grendel. That's gonna be very beneficial for oooje, creating that 4-3. Dolphin, I honestly would not waste that Dragon's Fire. Yeah, okay, so we're just gonna repeat push Grendel a second time. So he might just start a Grendel train here if that's the case, and just sort of deplete oooje that way. Because I mean, we saw how much it took him to destroy one Grendel. A second and third will become even more challenging as the time goes on. And I'm not
Right.
sure if, he's got the answers.
Does oooje run reanimate in this deck? I mean, if you run Hostage City Guard,
I would assume
I
so.
want to say that you're probably running reanimate. Rusty Hooks.
Yeah, we know Hooks is definitely in there. Okay, Hooks,
All
Hooks
right.
Armory. That's going to be good.
Now, Rusty Hook is going to be a big old hook. A
Big
4/6
hook
Rusty Hook.
If Dolphin wants to get rid of it, he's going to have to sacrifice a Dragon's Fire and the Wizard, in a way.
You know
No,
what?
not the Wizard.
You know what? I would sack the Wizard,
Actually,
weaken
no,
the
yeah,
Rusty
yeah.
Hooks, play another Wizard, and Dancing Sword, and then set up for a Dragon's Fire next play. Get a little bit more value. You already have 3. You already have 2 other copies of Wizards, so might as well trade
Put them to
with
good
the Rusty
use,
Hooks.
yeah.
Yeah. Especially when your opponent is running lightning. Temple of the 5 Gods. So moving around a lot of those range units and having the ability to get caught with frozen pillars, it could be very detrimental. I think Dolphin.
Oh, okay. So we're going to set up the remaining 2 Wizards, keeping the Hooks alive at full strength, and holding back the Dragon's Fire. I think he will be trying to save some Dragon's Fire value, but also looks like he's not going to interact with the Hooks just yet, which is interesting. Certainly interesting. I think I lost Tweaking. Uh-oh. Alright, so I'll go ahead. Shaman looks like we're going to draw some cards here, or a card, really. Following up with the Rusty Hook's retreat here. So oooje's going to try and build himself up just a little bit. Oh, there he is.
Now we're going to see a Dragon's Fire clearly take out the Serpent Witch.
The Serpent
Weaken everything
Witch? What?
else.
Hello?
The Sea Witch.
Yeah, so there's Dragon's Fire number 1 hitting the board here. We'll see if he gets aggressive with one of these wizards at the very least, and looks like that's not going to be the case here. So really just going to try and save for one big Dragon's Fire clear here all the way around with whatever maybe oooje throws out next. But that Sea Witch was a huge component to oooje's deck, of course. That spawn generator he was mentioning yesterday. That swarm generator, excuse me.
It's very risky for Dolphin to have 3 Wizards out on deck right now. Oh my God. Oh God.
Yeah,
I'm so sorry.
This is the problem with having double Dragon's Fire if you're up against it. You never know if the opponent has the second one because they just expend so much to play the first. So you feel safe in setting up, but this is where double Dragon's Fire really just, you hate to see it. You absolutely hate to see it. And that was probably oooje's reanimate setup if you think about it. The 3 peasants, the shaman, all could have been food for just a nasty reanimate, but now all oooje is going to have is the blacksmith to create just that 1 unit. It's not going to be as impactful as those 3 peasants would have been.
That bard's coming out. Big old Grendel of his own.
I mean, Grendel is fine. The problem is it dies to all 3 of these wizards. They all take their shot. And blue fire for turn takes the bard out. Wizard going for the armory, so pretty much neutralizing all of the other stat global buffs. Of course, the only one remaining is Temple.
Yeah, I would move the top wizard up, replace it with the swords, and get ready for a demonic rage. Yeah.
Yep, and that looks like it's going to be the plan here. oooje on 2 cards. What has he got to defend here? I mean, we're going to see probably the Grendel take out that bottom wizard. Yep, as to be expected. And then a simple pass. Yeah, this could...
Yeah.
14.
Demonic rage on the thing, and then...
Oh, yeah, we're going to do the Grendel. We had to hit the right wizard, though. No, we don't hit the right wizard. Alright, so that's interesting.
You know, I still think Dolphin wins this game either
Oh,
way,
yeah,
but I
hands
would have
down.
put the Bestial Rage. I would have put the Bestial Rage on the wizard, and
Ping
put him
for
on
3 and yeah.
ping for 3, and then guarantee to end the turn next turn. But I still think Dolphin wins this game. There's
Oh,
just
for
no way
sure.
for
Hands down, hands down.
yeah.
I mean, we're going to take out the Grendel as a consolidatory prize here. Draw maybe can eliminate the wizard if possible. Nah, Hook's going to
Yeah.
do it. Does that bring him out of the range? No, he just walks down. Never mind. Yeah, he
No.
walked down 2, takes
Yeah.
it out. Yeah. Well, I mean, he survives
Then you
like
got
1,
Mordock.
but the sudden death kicks in. He doesn't even need it. Sudden death going to end it off.
Yeah.
All right, so Dolphin taking game number 2 in a pretty dominant fashion, a big upset from the first one. Yeah, that was pretty much, I mean, what we wanted to see out of Dolphin game 1 came through game 2, did a whole lot of good things from the, triple
Yeah,
wizards,
we're definitely chalking that.
Dragon's Fire. Yeah,
Yeah, we're definitely chalking up that win to the double Dragon's Fire.
Definitely.
That pretty much turned the tide of the game.
yeah. So, I mean, with that being said, we've got some players to get to, so let's go ahead and see how they're feeling. All right, folks, and game number 2 is in the books now. Dolphin, I believe, running the same deck twice for you worked out quite well. How'd you feel about that matchup?
Did.
How'd you feel about
I
it?
feel so good. I destroyed him.
Yeah,
Literally wiped the floor with him. Oh my god.
bruh.
Woo!
And you sure Dragon's Fire didn't really save your ass there in the end?
Well, since I'm such a good player, I calculated my Dragon's Fire uses,
Uh-huh.
There's a top
So I planned it out.
Not really.
So he fell into every single one. I absolutely crushed it.
Right, but I mean, talk us about some of the other things. I mean, establishing the triple wizard, that was pretty nice for you.
I
having
drew
that
all
range
3
wall.
wizards and all 3 Grendels. I was like kind of happy because those aren't bad cards to get triples of.
No.
Like I established such a board presence that I don't think oooje. I don't think he could like advance on me a lot. If I'm correct, oooje.
Yeah, if I had the icing pillar or that freezing thing, maybe,
Yeah.
but I didn't get
But
it.
even then, I tried to kind of sway away from that. I never really had a board presence that you could fully freeze.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, with one pillar, unless they are really sort of set into it, there's not a real. I mean, most players at this point or at this level have an understanding about how pillar pretty much can completely knock you out if you're not careful about it. So, yeah, I definitely think playing around with pillar is always a good thing to do if you're going up against the Vikings. But I mean, yeah, overall, it seemed to work out extremely well for you. Tweakin, you have anything for Dolphin?
No, I don't have anything for him.
Yeah, just an overall solid performance here. But on the other side of things, oooje, unfortunately, the Pirate Viking did not do the job the second time. You want to talk to us? Because I think you were mentioning about a misclick before I turned on the recording here. If you want to go ahead and do that, or just talk about how you felt about the match in general. If you thought running back against the same deck would have been an easy win for you. Just talk to us about it.
yeah. Generally, just the misclick was so bad. I'm annoyed by that.
Right.
But what's it called? Many filthy peasant cards instead of the fat part.
Mhm.
All that I just drew too few units. I started the game with 0 units in hand. That took me 2 turns to draw one.
Right. Just having that setup kind of pushing you back a bit.
Nothing to really buff with all those buffing cards.
Right. Right. But I mean, tweaking anything for him because I think aside from the Dragon's Fire, there's not really much I think he did wrong per se. At least not that I saw. Nothing that really I wanted to question him on, unless you had something.
Yeah, it was just like mirror matchups. The first match, oooje pretty much had dominant board presence the entire game, and then this match, it was Dolphin's turn. So
And then I top decked that Centaur, I believe, to get rid of the Hovel.
yeah,
So I feel kind of bad about that, but
Yeah, so it just seemed like both players had their easy win out of the way. So let's get to that game 3.
Oh yeah, game number
It's
3, of course. oooje getting the counter pick here. Dolphin forced to run the same deck back. Who's gonna win? Only time will tell. Let's go ahead and jump to game number 3. Alright, folks, in game number 3 underway here, we've got Dolphin returning with the Warlock Druid up against the Warlock Viking from oooje. Tweakin, how do you feel about the color swap for oooje here, going with the Warlock instead of the Pirates?
I like it. The you get the direct damage to take out some of those ranged units that Dolphin likes to play with because you know that he runs a demonic range. So just getting rid of those options for Dolphin is going to be good for oooje. Hopefully he has some answer. Luckily, Dolphin doesn't have an answer of his own on turn 2 or turn 3. We're going to see him coined into a Acolyte.
We might see a Fear.
Looks like yeah, it's going to look like an undead deck.
Which I think, if I'm not
I
mistaken,
don't know if I would waste a Fear.
Yesterday.
I don't know if I would waste a Fear at this point. I mean, what are you hoping to get from the Fear that you could play?
You don't want to leave the Lumberjack there either, though, because that'll generate a free zombie. So if we're gonna do anything, yeah, Lumberjack gonna retreat for now.
Yeah.
Just hold off.
Yeah, you can get better
though,
value. You don't need to. I mean, 1 damage on the castle to trade for a second unit on board. I just don't like that trade. I mean, you're gonna get your Dark Bender out. You could, yeah. I can only see a Dark Bender coming out here.
Alright, so Banshee for turn 3 on oooje's side of the board. Not too bad, so kind of reinforcing again the fact that this is going to probably be an undead focus deck. Maybe a little bit of Last Will thrown into the mix, potentially. I don't know. Not sure if that's been done before, actually, when you think about it. Has anyone combined Rakanoth with the Last Will stuff with Andrew?
I don't think so. I don't think so because I don't think there's enough. I don't think there's enough undead to complement both. I mean, you got Banshee. I think that's the only undead Last Will.
Which you could also run Keeper, but that's beside the point. Deck theory aside, we'll see Dolphin, like you said, throw out the Dark Bender for turn. Acolyte has a shot at the Dark Bender, but Lich gonna be the card to come out instead. That's another one, Lich. I can synergize.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, unfortunately, he played it too aggressively, and we're gonna see it die from a Centaur.
Are we though? Because what can Dolphin really put out to generate room for the Centaur? We only have 5 gold, and every other unit costs.
You can either do a Centaur and freeze both these units, or you can fear the Banshee and play another.
No, but I'm
Dark
saying,
Bender.
like, how does Centaur get to Lich here?
You play it on the Dark Bender.
Oh right, I forgot the Dark Bender is like alive. Why?
The only unit on the board for Dolphin.
Damn it! Cause it's blue and I don't know why. I just didn't think his Dark Bender was like capable of spawning the Centaur for some whatever reason. But are we gonna see the Centaur? Okay, so we are hitting the Acolyte for turn. We're gonna weaken that to set up for a nasty Dragon's Fire, which makes sense. We see it in hand, so that's definitely gonna be Dolphin. He's telegraphing the play next turn.
Right.
But I don't like this.
So I'd be aggressive with all these.
Yeah, I would put Banshee into Centaur, Acolyte, Lich to just knock out.
Can Acolyte
Bender?
Can Acolyte hit Castle?
Yeah, it can hit Castle, but I mean,
1 damage is 1 damage. It's gonna die next turn.
And there's no healing.
oooje should see it.
Yeah, no, he doesn't. He doesn't recognize the fact that we might be getting the what's it called? The Dragon's Fire.
Oh, please do it on the Acolyte.
Ooh.
Do it on the Acolyte.
It's
He's not gonna do it. He's not gonna do it.
What did you get the U from an Acolyte? Oh no, Grendel.
I mean,
Grendel Bestial Rage.
Do you want to waste it?
I mean, listen. What else are we using? We can't use the Dragon's Fire as effectively this turn because of that 4/5 buff on the Lich.
You could fear it back one more turn.
I guess, or we're just gonna freeze it in place here. You could just leave it like that too, yeah. Because I mean, the freeze is not gonna thaw out in time for oooje to do anything unless flash grenade hits the board, which at this point you got a flash grenade now. I don't see there's any other reason to not just protect that acolyte, protect your generator a bit here. Oh, all right. So grotesque on
Oh,
the
fancy,
acolyte, getting some more resources,
fancy.
putting it to good use, even in frozen states. But what does he have to answer the Grendel? The zombie isn't going to be enough. We know he's got a Dragon's Fire, so if it's weaker than 3 health, we know that, you know, a Dragon's Fire clear just gets 6 damage on face for Dolphin.
Well, I can tell that oooje is not liking the cards in his hands at this moment.
Okay,
Oh, never
Lich.
mind. Never mind.
Lich is fine.
Lich. Flash grenade.
Alright, so there's the Flash Grenade. Going to do a little bit of damage to the Grendel. So he's kind of just setting up for... Okay, maybe wouldn't have replayed the zombie because then we
No,
can control
interesting.
the Grendel buff.
Interesting. I think I would have thought the flash grenade would have more value. I mean, do you really want to waste a Dragon's Fire on a fucking Lich and a zombie?
No, you don't. And he knows it. He knows that the Dragon's Fire now is going to be pointless. He's going to end up probably I would fear back the Lich, if anything. Yep. Protect your castle, but here you got the second blue firebolt if he really wants to. I mean, there's not much else he can do, but yeah, Darkbender Trent maybe is the better play. Maybe not even Trent. Yeah,
no, don't play the Trent. Don't get yourself in too much Dragonfire's value
right, I
because
forgot we are
after the Trent's
Warlocks.
gone,
Yeah.
you got Rat King. Want to see
Yeah.
that?
So there's
That
the
Lich
Grendel
is
buff.
gonna
Yep.
get beefy. Yeah, we see it. We see that. We see those.
I mean, I'm not sure a double blue fire on the Lich would be beneficial to him. I really
Oh, I would love to see Archie from oooje.
Oh, you think he's got it?
I mean, from the spells that we've seen, we only seen sacrifice, and with Archie, sacrifices
Oh,
can
you're
go
right.
both ways.
You're right. Oh, so we're gonna see the unholy.
It would just be a fun aspect because then that would take out Dolphin's Bestial Rage. It would take out the Blue Firebolt.
It would nullify a lot of what he's got in the deck.
The demonic range. It would take that out of the game.
So Gravestalker in the following turn. Okay, so pretty relaxed from oooje so far. Dolphin considering the Rat King question mark. I don't feel like that's the choice here. He could do a blue fire on the altar. Take that out of the equation now before it gets too big. Yep.
Yeah. I would move my Darkbender forward and down one spot. Not just aggressive enough where you can kill the Gravestalker if he decides to push, but safely away from any frozen pillar action. I think. No, wait. No, actually, the zombie can actually get in place of frozen pillar, but I think he should still be fine. He's got blue firebolt and drag. He's got ways to get rid of it. He's got the blue firebolt and the Dragon's Fire. I'm probably going to see a Dragon's Fire play here.
From Dolphin, perhaps, yeah. Okay, the Grotesque. I might be searching for the pillar right now. If he doesn't already have it in hand. Ooh, Necromancer. That's gonna be a little stinky for him.
Okay, yeah, we definitely need to take that guy out.
I mean, we could see the combination of burn come out and clear this board, but yeah, I think that just might be it for Dolphin. If he plays the Dragon's Fire and the Bolt this turn, that's pretty much all of his gold. Well, he would have a clear board, I think, if he plays it correctly. The problem is, does he see it?
He wouldn't have a clear board. He would have the acolyte down to 2.
Well, no. He would have.
But it would be frozen. It would be frozen. Oh, and the Gravestalker's gonna die.
Oh, okay. So he's gonna Bestial Rage. He's gonna opt to not Dragon's Fire this turn, which is interesting. He's gonna value, or he's gonna keep the Necromancer alive. I'm not sure why though, because now you put yourself in a weird position, and just keeping the Darkbender there, he's got a target, and the Necromancer is still alive. Which, if oooje is running more undead focused stuff here, that's gonna be problematic to keep around. It's a global buff.
Don't like Rat King.
Yeah, neither do I.
Don't like Rat King here.
I think Dolphin is in a bit of a panic moment there.
Yeah, I think he's panicking right now. He's panicking.
A
You
lot
know,
of resources on
doesn't
the
really
board
have
for him.
the best hand right now. You know, oooje has a lot of cards. He's got a lot of draws. He's got that 5/5 walking armory around.
And his only
And
chance
we're
to get
getting
rid of it too is gone when you look at the blue firebolt. On the Lich was
yep
probably not the best move. I probably would have opted to keep the Lich around and clear out everything else with, Dragon's Fire, Blue Fire to the Necromancer. Would have taken out the Gravestalker zombie, and then just keep the Lich around, which can't really do a whole
right.
lot on its own.
Yeah, I personally love keeping liches around just because having that last will of freezing both your units. Um,
Okay, so
right there. I mean,
grotesque. Yep.
so now like was the blue firebolt worth it?
It wasn't. That kind of just
Probably
takes
not.
away, everything about it. Alright, and then
Because
following up with an Acolyte for turn. And a Gravestalker down low. Okay, so just continuing to generate some zombies
because of
here.
the Rat King, now we can't even get rid of the Acolyte.
No, sir. Although I don't think this is necessarily a bad setup either. Mordok running down face, protected by the Rage Darkbender. It's going to be a lot for oooje to deal with at this point unless
He's
the
got
man pulls
a
Dragon's Fire
Raka.
Flamestorm out of his ass.
What about Raka? A Raka Frozen
I
Pillar.
don't unless the Gravestalker is the only card that would have been in a great spot for Raka, but even then that position doesn't really
Well, the
solve
Aka,
the Darkbender.
the Aka can run forward. Nope,
I mean, still
he's got
gonna
a
run
Frozen
forward.
Pillar.
He has to have a
He's got a
frozen
Frozen
pillar.
Pillar.
Come on.
You're gonna be this aggressive with it. You gotta have it.
Yeah, there it
Yep.
is.
Personally, I would have put it guarding Mage.
I think he's just wanting to
Uh,
kill off more or freeze off more rats down there because I think in his mind, Rat King isn't going to be as beneficial as 2 rats, and so, okay, he has a banshee protection anyway. Yeah, that's all well and good, Dolphin. You can Dragon's Fire, but what else do you do from there? You what? You Trent maybe to get rid of the freezing pillar and pray that a lightning blade isn't in the hand?
Unfortunately, you got to Trent. You got to Trent. You got to take that Frozen Pillar out because you need your Mordok. You need your Darkbender to do anything in the sort of game. And unfortunately, you do set yourself up for not only a Lightning Blade, but an even worse Frozen Pillar.
Oh, a second one in hand. Yeah, that becomes even more
But
dangerous.
you got to do it. You can't wait for a blue Firebolt, and he knows it. He
already
knows it's
sees
only
the
a matter of
rocket.
time. He knows it's only a matter of time. Unfortunately, he can't kill off that
Listen,
Gravestalker.
Dolphin, that's what you get for hitting the Lich instead of the Necromancer. That was probably the key point in this battle, and we're not going to take it out. In a way, okay, that's going to probably, semi-protect you from Raka, but really not enough. Raka's still going to make a huge impact if that is the card of choice here.
In the long things. You saved yourself 4 damage on face from Castle, but now this is a rip.
Yeah, Mordok gonna hit the board for oooje. That does take out. Yeah, okay, and then it's just a cascading effect here. Healing up the Necromancer. That's
Oh my
fine as
god.
well if you have another burn. Yeah,
Yep.
this definitely puts
This is
Dolphin in
game.
a this is a disgusting
game.
position. Yeah, I don't think there's anything that he's got left in the tank if you're a Dolphin side here. I think he definitely needed to take out the pillar in that moment, and he didn't as well, so that just opens up a whole nother can of worms here. Flying swords, can't even fly over the Wraith to kill, and now the Mordok, you gotta take out the pillar. And even then that sets you up for just Mordok and gross stuff, yeah. So
Yep. Banshee on face, Mordok with swords, unit generated
that's a
from
Wraith,
Mordok.
dog.
Oh, Wraith, yeah. Wraith Castle, Mordok trade with swords, unit from Mordok hits Castle, Raka Castle, end the game.
Yeah, that's a whole lot of stuff, and we know it's
A whole lot of
definitely-
movement.
It can be in the cards. Oh, the
Oh, it
Necromancer.
doesn't have
We're gonna
it, but,
keep the Mordok if he engages with the dancing
the
sword.
Mordok's gonna survive. Yeah, the Mordok's gonna survive.
And that's just something again. Oh my
Oh.
god. The 5/10 Wraiths, bro. They're huge.
Good lord.
Listen, people always, I mean, sure, you know, people say Wraith isn't the best card to include, but this is why. I mean, if you're running an undead
And
deck,
those
having a Wraith or two
players
isn't too bad.
and those players steadily rank their decks under 3K. For those who say Wraith isn't viable.
Yeah, you have to take out what 20 HP worth of units this turn if you want
Get
to
the
survive.
moral victory. Rush your fucking rat to castle. Play the centaur and hit on face. Get
Oh,
that
Rat King
moral
Pog.
victory.
You might be able to actually survive a bit if he uses the cards correctly.
Yeah, take out.
Yeah, okay, there goes Mordock. You throw the Rat King
Can he
out.
take? He
Uh,
can. He can.
the
We are
pro-
still breathing,
the problem
but barely.
becomes why? No, yeah, no, okay, yeah, we are surviving. Yeah, no, okay, never mind. We're good. We're good.
Just barely. Just
Just
barely.
got
But
it.
unfortunately, if he has a rack up, it's over. But
Rack up's game.
I mean, sudden death, 6 to 18, 2 blacksmith, bestial rage, and no possible way of reaching Ooje's castle.
Yes, sir.
With
It's gonna be game.
here's the rack a bomb. Did someone order a dragon or an eternal darkness?
No, sir. We
Yeah, he's
ordered
just
Rage
throwing out
Stalker.
respect just because he knows. He just knows that he's got it in the bag.
Yeah, I mean, what does Dolphin draw here to even make an impact? Like companion, dual companion, maybe. And even then,
Even
not
then,
enough. Not
even
enough
then.
damage.
The dragon's fire.
I mean,
But unfortunately, you play Dragonfire, and then
actually, no.
what
It
else?
does. It
Lumberjack.
does. It does protect him a bit
But
here.
you can't.
Lumberjack comes out.
But you
Put him right
can't
in
even.
front. Yeah.
You can't even block Castle to avoid Chain because then it could just die from the Necromancer. So
Right. Right.
now you gotta end the game next turn. Is Spiny 3 cost cold?
Yeah, Spiny's 3, but then there's the fear. Yep. And
Oh.
there's the big 5.
I was gonna say, could you Spiny demonic rage, get a draw?
Yeah, yeah. But I mean, hey, it was a strong match overall here. I think both players did extremely well. The problem with Dolphin, I think that one play, that one decision where the Lich was hit with a blue fire instead of the Necromancer really does turn things around because of that global buff power that the Necromancer has.
Yeah,
So
they were
definitely curious
definitely.
on that word.
Yeah, there were definitely some blunders on Dolphin's side, and I don't. Maybe he was just overthinking it a little bit, getting in his own head, uh,
Right.
and unfortunately, it did cost him the match. But
But
nevertheless, it was a good matchup.
yeah, so let's see what both players have to say though. All right, folks, and game number 3 concludes here. Oooje picking up the set victory here. Oooje, I think this is your second win, right? I don't know. I don't remember if you won
Yeah.
yesterday.
I won the first one. Oh, wait, oh yeah. I mean, yeah, I won yesterday too.
Okay, yeah, so you did. So this is your second win, your second set win. And overall, again, just very nice plays there. Talk to us about the switch up in taking the what we assume is the Viking Warlock Undead as the counter pick option. If there's any insight behind that.
I knew I had to reach his units because a lot of ranged, a lot of far away annoying stuff.
Right.
So that way I get to summon undead from like witches and the the other guy,
The
Apocalypse
altar,
or
yeah,
whatever
the
it's
acolytes and all
called,
that stuff. Yep.
and then send them forward with the ice cloak or the freeze pillar thing.
Yeah. So I mean, just strong undead free stuff. Now we were actually talking about. Do you have like Arcanon in that deck to throw off some spells turn 7?
No,
Okay. Because we were like
I
looking
have
at the composition in Dolphin's hand, and we were mentioning like if you bought out Arcanon turn 7, would have thrown off a lot of the burn that he had in his hand, plus Bestial Rage, Demonic Rage, etc.
Hmm.
So it's a nice inclusion to have, especially when you're going up against those spell focused decks or ones that rely more on burn damage and whatnot. But I mean, overall, I think other than that, plays are solid. The result was fantastic. Tweaking, you have anything for oooje?
No, no. Great matchup. Good win.
All right, and on the other side of things, Dolphin unfortunately not able to pick up the set win here.
Dolphin, unfortunately, not be able to. Red, I don't care. I don't care, Red.
Of course you don't. Overall, I think the plays were pretty good on that end, except for the one that me and Tweaking had a question about.
I
here.
panicked the one turn with the rat king and all that. The
Yeah.
time was running out. I was like, fuck, I have to do something. I know what to do. So I just played. And then after that, I was like, this is going downhill.
Yeah,
He kept grotesquing, getting good cards off of zero-cost zombies. It's like, fuck.
Then he
Yeah.
just couldn't get rid of that upkeep
Yeah.
without just rushing the Rat King, and then hopefully.
And then he got a Mordog off it. It's like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, he's got a Mordock. He's got
I can't rush units because then he has a Mordok, and I can't stay back because then he's a Raka, and I can't do anything. And then all of his units have global buffs, so they're like 9/9 monsters, and it's like I can't do anything. And then the cards I have.
Yeah, we assumed it was probably a bit of like in the panic moment there. You go for the Lich instead of the Necromancer, and then it's sort of a cascading effect from there.
Yeah, and then I blew the Lich because I planned on hitting it with my Darkbender, and then genius me realized my Darkbender couldn't reach the Lich, and I was like, well, I just used a blue Firebolt, and then I sacrificed a rat into it, and then he grotesqued the Lich, and it's like, well, there goes 2 cards I used on that one card.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we brought that up. We were like, oh, he's probably kicking himself now, wasting a blue Firebolt on that.
And then I can't Dragon's Fire Necromancers because they have too much health, and then you fucking healed the one. It's like, God.
Yeah, it was just a rough situation here, but that's gonna be it for me anyway. I find to close it out. Tweaking, anything for the MS Paint creation?
Yeah, I just have one thing. Why did you opt to just body block the Frozen Pillar with the Lumberjack and not take it out with the?
Because his Gravekeeper could have went through the pillar, killed the Darkbender. I honestly thought he had a Raka the whole time.
Well, if you take out the pillar, you also body block the Gravestalker.
But then
I'm
I
saying
would have enough unit to kill the Raka with.
Yeah,
You have
that's
to
true.
understand, this whole time I was thinking he had a Raka. Like I even typed in the chat, I was like, "This guy's gonna fucking Raka." That's
Yeah,
why he took one health
thought
away from my Murdoch so he could kill it with the Raka. But he didn't. And I was like, Jesus, wow.
Yeah, we thought he had a Raka as well. Unfortunately, you played yourself. You got in your own head, and I think not hitting that Frozen Pillar really put you in a tough spot. Because then he was allowed to play a Mordok for free, and you couldn't weaken it with a Darkbender.
Rough interaction.
But yeah.
Right, but with that being said, folks, of course, that does end off another casting conflict. Again, congratulations to oooje for picking up his second win here and his second
and for
matchup
running
so far.
9 global buff cards. Congratulations.
Dolphin, I'll see you at the bottom.
Tweaking, you're next, buddy. I will literally destroy you.
All right, folks. Until next time, we'll throw it out to my future self. All right, and with that being said, folks, hope you guys did enjoy this edition of Casting Conflicts. If you did, let me know in the comment section below. Leaving your thoughts down there is always appreciated, as well as leaving a like, sharing it with your friends, and of course, subscribing if you are new or haven't done so already. Subscribing is the best way that you can show your support to the channel and help us grow, of course, so appreciate that as well. But with that being said, guys, that'll do it for me for now. So, until next time, stay gaming.